You know what's crazy? This arc is longer in terms of chapter numbers than Enies Lobby, and it's been almost 2 years since the arc started. It's just as long as Whole Cake Island, bro, in terms of years. And it's over.
It's over.
Over! Egghead Island is done. For this chapter, it's like 3 simple parts. It's the aftermath of the Joy Boy Ameth massive hockey pulse. Then it's a Vegapunk flashback, kind of crossing some T's and dotting some I's. And then we wrap up with a celebration. Luffy, old man form, oh, can we do this later? Nah, we do this now. Because Usopp has met his masters, his Shishos, and we're en route to Elbaf, an arc I've been waiting for an extremely long time, bro. Little Garden, Usopp, Luffy, we're going hard. I need to see this arc be just as long as Dressrosa. I said it. I need to see this arc go on for a minute, yo. A minute, man. Don't skimp on the Elbaf studliness. The Giants and the Norse themes that have been sprinkled all across the entire series. I won't get into it now, obviously. But I have in the past before in like a lot of videos. Even like movies, like Film Red. Bro, we have to get to these things, and we are going to get to these things. I'm psyched. Oh, I'm psyched. I got a video focusing on Elbaf, on Usopp, on so many dope things to come. I have videos coming out. Because Egghead Island, this arc, let's bring it in, okay? Bring it in. Goddamn, son. I feel like LeBron after he won in Cleveland. I feel good right now. I feel real good.
Who delivers on his promise to come home.
You know why? Because this arc slaps. Now, the arc has issues, yes, obviously. The championship run was difficult. Like Kawhi in 2019, Canada, it was a very difficult championship run, for sure. However, even though the arc does have negatives, which I'll tackle for, let's say, a more comprehensive video on the arc, I think is overall a net positive. The problem with Bonnie I had was resolved because Oda didn't go that far. He didn't make a Nika 2.0. He made a Nika Light. Mwah. He made a Nika Diet Coke version, zero sugar version. Mwah. Okay, good. That was stressing me out. The themes and the portrayal and the character and all of the thematic and blah, 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 and the Shakespearean and yes, I get it. I get it all.
I just don't give a.
It doesn't mean we can break power systems. I don't give a damn. It doesn't mean we can break them. And we didn't.
Are you sure about that?
At least so far, okay? Because maybe in the future, let's say come end the series, actually, Luffy, guess what? I can do the exact same thing.
But sake!
Anything you can do, I can do that. Oh, I'm going to have a heart attack. I just hope by then I weigh less so I don't actually die of that heart attack. Now, obviously, there are 2 big things in this chapter, beyond the obvious point of us leaving the island. Number 1, the chapter addresses what was going on in chapter 1116, where York was completely confused as to how Vegapunk, how they could dupe her and actually set up this whole thing when she herself is also a Vegapunk, and she shouldn't have been duped this way. That's the first thing. The second thing, number 2, is the aftermath of the haki, the Joy Boy haki knot from 800 years ago. We do get confirmation in this chapter that damn near everyone who was an adversary of the Strat Pirates was knocked out, including the Vice Admirals. The Vice Admirals were also knocked out. And you even have, in this translation, Dorian Brogy states that this haki was greater than red hairs, but it didn't seem hostile, did it? So what does that mean at face value? Number 1, the haki shockwave sky split thingamabobber that we saw in the last chapter, that is, at this point in time, the strongest conqueror's haki feat in the verse. In the last chapter, I was unclear, even though I did lean towards Joy Boy. It was still unclear because the Vice Admirals were so active. I'm like, hold on, why are these guys so active if this haki is intense? That got cleared up the moment I saw the Vice Admirals get knocked out. The Crimson Chin, the Naked Chin over here, and I saw Daw on the ground. KO! Okay, fine. And I said that on site. If you don't believe me, you can check out my live reaction to the chapter, where link in the box below. Link in the box below to my Cole Requiem YouTube channel, where I do my full stream reactions along with JJK and Kingdom, and of course on twitch.tv for the full comprehensive 8-hour stream as well. So there is Film Red, which yes, I know it's not canon, But keep in mind that what we see in the manga itself, what Shanks did, is better than we saw in Film Red. But that being said, in Film Red, we do see Vice Admiral Momonga going like a knee. He buckles. Like, oh, Momonga, Kizaru Fujitora, these three guys are still active, essentially. The Joy Boy one is better, particularly when we see Joy Boy also depower the elders from their transformed states. But we saw Shanks do the same thing to Green Bull. I have every admiral at this point in time, including Green Bull, stronger than the elders. Now, I will say though, I was noted to a lot, several times, that hold on, this is not an appropriate translation. I'm not Japanese. All I know is Ohio gozaimasu. That's all I know. But apparently the translation is not accurate. It's more like Dory and Brogy are debating if this haki moment was superior to what Redhead could do. And you may say, oh, it's Cub. Listen, I'm just telling you I've been told, okay? I got mad comments about this, okay? So I will have to wait and see what the Viz says when it comes out on Sunday. Here's the way I see it, ultimately speaking. To me, if Shanks was just a Joy Boy in terms of haki, I'm A-okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. Because of just the feats and the feats alone, these two guys are like head and shoulders above the rest of the clique. In terms of the Conqueror's haki, its strength, and with Shanks, it's the strength and its accuracy and its control, because this guy is doing it from like 2 oceans away and a landmass. In terms of Conqueror's haki, these guys are a cut above the rest. They blow everyone else out of the water, which makes the most sense to me. Joy Boy, who potentially is the strongest all time, and Shanks, who I deem to be the greatest of his generation. Those that wear the straw hat, I deem to be the strongest in their generation. And Shanks is the strongest in his, I would argue. So I'll do a video in the future kind of diving more into the hidden elements of Conqueror's haki. Michael Phelps deep diving and seeing what's under the sea. And for a quick little side quest, I do want to talk about Ameth. And I get the feeling that Ameth in this chapter kind of feels similar now to, let's say, the end of Marineford. Where at the end of Marineford, we only see a grave for Ace and for Whitebeard. But I've always wondered what happened to Little Oars Jr.'s body. I've always thought to myself that Little Oars Jr., his body could actually be pretty useful for the military and for the Marines. We know that so much of the planet, including the Marines, like we see with Caesar Clown, they have been trying to make humans into giants for so long, and here you have Ancient Giant at your disposal. But for like, what, 15 years now, nothing has come of that, like Little Oars Jr.'s body. And then now I see Ameth, I'm kind of reminded of that, like, okay, we know that Jay Garcia Saturn is somewhere there, and Ameth, after that crazy Joy Boy hockey pulse thing, has powered down completely, which does make you wonder if the power source at this point was haki. The drums of liberation, Luffy's heartbeat, activated the haki within that knot that Ameth had, and that powered up Ameth from the second time 200 years ago. Because the ancient power source that was supposed to fuel Ameth was supposed to be depleted. But it is a crazy idea for haki to be a fuel. If there was an ExxonMobil branch in the world of One Piece, it's over. But at the same time, it can be stored in the Witharia Island knots, what we see in Nami's time skip training, where she was located. And if that's the case, that means that, technically speaking, it is an energy source of some kind, since these knots were used to store energy for creating gusts of wind of various degrees. Haki energy can be stored and also power iron giants like Ameth? It makes you think. And also, doubling back real quick, Dory and Brogy, they say this haki doesn't seem hostile. I don't know if that means that, let's say, Shanks' haki was hostile to them in some weird way for whatever reason. Because we do see when Shanks shakes Green Bull, the Young Bucks on his crew, they're getting knocked out, and then Rue's telling Shanks, yo, tone it down a bit. But maybe let's say that's wrong, and instead what they mean here is that the haki that we just experienced wasn't hostile towards us. So there's an idea that Ameth, he knows who his targets are. The targets are the Marines, and the targets are the Elders. We don't want to target the Giants or Luffy's friends. So even though it's not his haki, he could, let's say, like, target the haki, even though, again, it's not his haki, he could channel that haki in the right direction, because that's what Ameth wills it to do. It kind of gets complicated. Haki, I said before, for so long, it's not a fleshed out power system. It's a power system that's very, very gray. A lot of murky, a lot of unknown territory with haki, a lot. But we could be getting some like more hints here as to exactly how it works out. So again, not too sure. But keep that in mind for the future. And the same thing goes for Ameth itself, where Ameth itself could literally be used in the future by the elders for some messed up things, because Ameth is an asset. All the tech it had within it that was like rusting away, Saturn could revitalize that for the future against the Strident allies. That sounds crazy, but it's possible. Just how it's possible for a man like Vegapunk to do a memory wipe on himself, even though his main brain isn't in his Stella body, it's up on Punk Records. What? That was confusing. How did he memory wipe his mind when his mind isn't even on that body? It's in Punk Records, my G. It's the one that's growing exponentially inside of a SeaWorld tape. Yo, I was confusing. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Listen, I know he's a genius. I get it. But,
What the f is this?
The whole point of this flashback, though, is just to show us the readers how Vegapunk was able to dupe York, even though York is also another Vegapunk and should be able to know what's going on. It was pretty funny that they blamed it on Lilith immediately, but no. Unchecked greed. That's probably a life lesson. As a From Software gamer, I know if you get too greedy, you pay a hefty price, and it is ultimately the downfall of Vegapunk's operation. This does explain several things. One, at the beginning of the arc, Shaka, the good, was talking to Dragon, and even though Dragon apparently does nothing. Remember what Shaka said? I feel like I'm gonna die soon. And he's like, what are you talking about, bro? Chill. Well, now we know, because in this chapter, after they got out of the memory mass lab, which I believe is a play on Kuma's ability, where Kuma could give master memory. That was like a big thing early in the arc. He literally says, I have already taken best possible cautions. You will just have to put your faith in me and die. So now we know why Shaka says, I think I'm gonna die. Because Vegapunk literally wrote to himself in the future from the past after the memory wipe, hey, you're gonna die. Sorry, but have faith in yourself. Okay, number two, the flashback in this chapter does explain why York knew that the Stella body, Vegapunk, original, put the Denden Mushi that was broadcasting to the entire world in Ameth. Because we see her meet with Vegapunk, the Stella body, near Ameth. So given the logic tree and how much time he spent near Ameth, she would deduce that, okay, it'll be in Ameth. Because again, she's also a Vegapunk. She's also a genius herself. So it does make a lot more sense now how she knew it was inside of Ameth. That's number two. Number three, in chapter 1116, when she was pondering, wait, hold on, how could Vegapunk hide this from me? I know he's a bad liar, the Stella body is. Well, when they met near Ameth in this chapter, he didn't lie to her. Two is the memory wipe. They did a memory wipe on themselves to make sure that they would forget, because they knew that given their mannerisms, given their expressions and so on, they could give away that they know something, and York would have seen that, and then she would have known in advance that they were hiding something, and then she would have shut down the whole operation. It explains why various things happen the way they happen, but of course, predominantly for the Vegapunks themselves and their issues. Obviously, this flashback doesn't answer every missing detail of the arc, because there are a few, but because we did cross these T's and dot these I's with these Vegapunks, it does make the overall quality of the arc better in some way. Apparently, Vegapunk told Sanji and Frankie that he wants them to find the One Piece. Sanji's like trying to deduce, hold on, so you wanted to die and us find the One Piece, and then now you have this crazy Denden Mushi footage going all across the entire world talking about the One Piece, how it's gonna change the world, and then you did die, so hold on, dude. Like, did you plan all this? Like, what's going on here? So Sanji is one of the smartest dudes on the crew, so there are things that go above him. Vegapunk betting on the Strat crew after the first arc of the final saga is a big endorsement. That's a big one. And when she wakes up, maybe Lilith can actually give us more insight as to what Vegapunk's intentions, his will, could have been. Obviously, it was a memory wipe that happened between Vegapunk, Pythagoras, Shaka, and the main Stella body. But after they fill in the details to her when she was knocked out by Atlas, Lilith could deduce maybe more of Vegapunk's intentions and tell that to the crew. Frankie did not get buffs in this arc, but Lilith is here, which means I think what? Buffs in the future for Franosuke. Yeah. So there are things that are happening, I think really big, really soon, because it's gonna be post-arc, so you know what's gonna mean. Bounty reveals and crazy global changes, probably a lot of nations defecting from the world government, maybe even some join for whatever reason. BB on the move, Shanks on the move, Buggy on the move. Players gonna be on the move doing gnarly things. Garling maybe doing there are so many pieces on the board, and every movement needs a magnifying glass because it's going to be shaping so much of what's going to be happening for the next, like, I'd argue, like 10 years of One Piece. Oh yeah, 10, 11 or so years. Yeah. But I would say this chapter overall, in of itself, I think is a simple chapter. It's a good chapter, nothing crazy. I would say like a 6.5% out of 10. It doesn't necessarily do much. It's just a closer. It's a simple chapter. In terms of pace, it's good pace. In terms of story progression, we leave the arc. That's the main thing here. And then we clean up some things about the past, which, okay, that's nice. And for character stuff, nothing really major outside, let's say, Vegapunk. It does actually help out Shaka and Pythagoras a bit too, because among the Vegapunks, those two are lacking. Not anymore, because we know that these two were a part of the grand conspiracy of duping York. So their characters do get bolstered somewhat in terms of characterization. So let me know your thoughts on this chapter, and if you enjoy my video content, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click on that bell to join the notification squad. Do that for your YouTube phone app as well. I'm gonna catch you guys and gals on the flip side.
See you. Bye bye.